when the dealer busts, do they have a hand too? I don't remember.
Oh, wow.
I forgot, yeah.
It's been a minute. This episode of The Modern Rogue brought to you by NordVPN. Head on over to nordvpn.com/rogue, spell it right, R-O-G-U-E. And when you sign up, you'll get a huge discount on 2 years of service plus 4 months free. And most importantly, Jason, I need to make this absolutely clear. All of y'all should gamble responsibly, understand that the house has the advantage. Eventually, you're gonna lose all your money. Just make sure you get what you want for that money.
Who are you talking to? I don't like card games.
Why not?
Because from childhood, I realized we got all of this stuff out. We're all sitting around the table. We've got these cards and these tokens and everything, and nobody's gonna pretend they're a wizard?
Ha! With your permission, I wanna take you on a journey of blackjack, starting with, you understand the basic rules, right?
I've played a handful of times throughout my life. I know you gotta reach 21. I know you don't wanna go over 21. You can double down. I'm fuzzy on that. I have a loose understanding.
Okay, I'll explain to you what's called basic strategy. Have you ever heard of this?
No.
Okay, I once read that all of Vegas is rigged against you, but the closest thing to a fair shake are blackjack and craps. Blackjack is interesting because there is a secret strategy that if you follow it, eventually you'll spend your $100. But if you do it well, it'll take so long to lose that 100 that you will get many free drinks. All of this is just my perspective. Secretly, the hotel's game is to get you into a lubricated enough state that if you do win, you'll immediately buy some overpriced perfumes and dresses and whatever. But if you follow this strategy, you'll only lose very slowly.
So this strategy hinges on the knowledge that the house has the upper hand.
Yes.
The house always wins.
Yes.
Okay.
First off, I'm gonna speak in generalities. I understand that every house has their own rules. That's why they're called house rules. So if anything I say is not exactly right, understand that maybe somebody's trying on some different things. Like, for example, it's very rare to find single deck blackjack. And I asked the dealer point blank, why is single deck blackjack only at $5 a hand? I believe she said some version of, devil's in the details. And then she kind of pointed to the blackjack payout. And I realized, oh, they want people who think they can count cards to come play a single hand, but they're secretly altering the rules by doing lower payouts for blackjacks and all of this stuff. So I'm gonna speak in generalities as I understand them, and hopefully you'll understand how to not lose all your money instantly.
Okay.
While I'm shuffling, why don't you explain to me what you know about the rules of blackjack?
Okay, well, every card has a value.
What are those values?
Aces or ones are 11.
That's right.
Right.
They're versatile.
Face cards are 10.
Including 10 in all of the face cards.
Including 10 in the face cards, yeah. And then the numeric ones are the numeric ones. I will get 2 cards and see how close those get to 21 adding up. And if I want another one, I'll say, hit me. And if not.
And by the way, that was a good catch, is that because there could be language difficulties and no casino wants to have an argument with someone, that's why the 2 moves are, it's hit me, or if you're holding the cards, you can go like that.
Okay.
That's hit me. Otherwise, it's no thank you.
Okay, so I get those 2 cards, see how close they are to 21. If it's 12, and I'm thinking, all right, I have to get a 9 or less. I want to get as close to 21 as possible. In that, it's kind of like shuffleboard. You want to get as close as possible without going over.
Correct.
And so I'll say—
Because if you go over, that's called
a bust.
Yes.
Okay, so if I'm at 12, I'll go hit me, hoping for a 9 or less.
Yes.
And as close to 9 as possible.
Meanwhile, you're playing kind of against a robot. The dealer has no choices. It only has an algorithm that you're being faced up against. What I love about blackjack is everybody at the table is competing against the dealer, and everybody gets to cheer and high five if everybody wins. The person who is dealing has a hard set of rules they have to play. So it's you versus me, but it's also her versus me. Mm-hmm. It's also this weird old man versus me. But also it's not even me, it's the casino.
And it's the protocol. You're just following the instructions.
Exactly, right? First, they'll deal to you, and then to themselves, and then to you, and then to themselves. And usually, they'll give you a hint as to what they have. Now, you know your card. And also, I do not get to make any choices. The dealer is a robot. So take a look, take a peek. The dealer won't even look at this, except for, because I was dealt a 10, I have to check and see if I already got a blackjack. Because if the dealer gets a blackjack, it's all over just now. So there's a little mirror over here that they'll put it in just so they can see the pip. And in this case, I know it's not a blackjack. And I'll ask you, do you want to hit or stand? What do you decide? And why are you deciding that?
Because I'm at 9, and I feel like there's enough room for me to get another card to get closer to 21, but not going over.
That is factually correct. There's literally no card I can pull out of this deck that is going to bust you. You are 100% safe. And if we're actually playing, then you have to bet. Let's imagine that this is a $1 chip, and this is a 5. Let's say it's a $5 minimum table, so you have to push that forward. There we go. So imagine that already happened. You have your hand, and so you're gonna do what?
So, yeah.
Oh, by the way, this is a breach of etiquette.
Oh.
Never should you have two hands on the table. Ooh, they don't like that.
Really?
Yeah, because you might be doing some sleight of hand. So instead, one hand should be on your beverage.
Okay.
And because there's cameras at all times to make sure that you're fair and squarely losing all the money that you brought to the table.
Yeah.
So in this case, you want to indicate that you want to hit, right?
Okay, yep.
Okay, great. And so then it goes face up.
Well, this is a 3, so I have a 19.
19 is very good. You don't know what I have, and so at this point you want to say no more, so you're going to do this. There we go. Or you could say it as well, but it's a courtesy to do this.
No more.
And then I would complete play with everyone else, and then I would reveal, based on the rules of the algorithm of the dealer. Do you know what those are?
No.
Okay, the general one is the dealer has to keep hitting until they hit 17 or above. You will find variations where it says like, dealer must hit on a soft 17. We'll explain all of that, but basically, I'm just a robot. So what I'll do is I'll flip this over and I'll reveal that I have a 12. So within that algorithm, what do I have to do?
You have to hit.
That's right. So then I do this, and what is the condition now?
You bust.
That's correct. And so at this point, everybody celebrates because the dealer busted, and you will be asked to reveal your card, and the dealer will verify that you were under 21 and they busted. So in this case, you, my friend, just get paid. Now at this point, what you want to do is you want to pull back those chips, and you want to decide what you want to bet again. And so while I'm shuffling again, and usually what happens is people just keep on playing until they get to a point where there's not enough cards and they have to reshuffle. So you choose your bet right now and set it out. Usually there's a circle right here that you put it into. All right? And so then they will often burn a card, and this is to discourage some card counters.
Oh, sure.
And then they'll say, everyone ready? And then they'll bet again. So in this case, I'm gonna give you one, I'm gonna give me one, I'm gonna give you another, and then I'm gonna flip this one up. Now,
And I flip mine up?
you have permission to look at those cards. It is frowned upon for you to tell everyone, I have a 7 and an 8 or whatever, but you get to know what you have. And this is all just kind of hygiene, basically. Now we get to the strategy. What do you think this card is statistically most likely to be? Knowing that there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 10, 10, a magical card that can either be a 1 or 11.
Yeah.
Statistically speaking, what should you assume that down card is?
A 10.
That's correct. Now, I will not use the mirror device because even if it is a 10 or an ace, there's no way for me to have blackjack, and that's the only thing I should know as the dealer. So now we're outside of the game. Friend to friend, what do you have?
17. I have a 9 and an 8.
Okay, so one of the rules of basic strategy, just think of the phrase 7 up. If you have 17 or more, you're statistically more likely to be better off not hitting because there's a lot of big cards over here and you're most likely to bust. So if you have 17 or above, doesn't matter what I have, then you want to stay.
Stay.
Right. So you have 17 and I have 18. Now in this case, you got hosed. But that's going to happen a lot. And so now, here, let's keep going. Same thing. I'm going to give you yours, mine, yours, mine. So right now, what do you have?
I have a king and a 4.
Because I'm not going to change what I do.
Right.
I'm the dealer.
Yeah.
So if you have a 14, you're looking at a 9. What do you assume this card is?
A 10.
Which means this is the most painful part. What is the one move that you have to make? By the way, you didn't bet.
Oh, right.
What is the one move you have to make?
I have to
Hit.
Yeah, I have to
knowing that very likely you'll bust. But you don't know for sure. And so I'll bring you another card. And now,
This is totally regulation, by the way. With me, I'm not doing anything.
They love it when you hide under the table.
Hold on just a
and
moment.
Act a little bit fishy. They love that. Take a look at your hand.
Okay.
If you have busted, it's kind of, you could keep it a secret, but as a courtesy to your neighbors, you might want to show what you got. Because some people may be a little bit of card counting.
Keeping track.
Yeah, exactly. But if you've not busted, then you set it right back down. Oh, you did bust.
I did bust.
And so it's all over. So in this case, I have 12. Now, keep in mind, you're not the only player here. I'm a robot who has to keep on going. So even though other people may still be in, so now I have to, what I'll do is I'll probably take this, and then I'll keep on going. And at this point, I busted, and everyone cheers around you, and you are a little bit sad.
Pretty straightforward.
So we'll try it again. Oh, you didn't bet. The dealer's going to be very good about reminding you to bet. Ooh, there we go. Okay, so 1 for you, 1 for me, 1 for you, and 1 face up. So this is a very good moment, because if we assume this card is what?
A 10.
Then 15 seems like a number that could very likely...
Put you over.
That's right, bust. So you know what you have.
I have a 12.
Okay.
So I'm
you-
not in a good spot either.
But whenever it looks like, by this assumption, it looks like the dealer's going to bust, then all of a sudden, you're not worried about winning. You're cheering for the dealer to bust. The most likely thing to do is to say, no, thank you, right?
Oh, okay. So even with a 12?
Now you're not betting that you're going to hit 21. You're betting that I'm going to bust.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Okay, so let's say you say, no, thank you.
Yeah. No thanks.
And then I will flip over this card, and it's 10, and it's
Oh!
20. And so it's a good thing you didn't double down. Mm-hmm. There we go. Okay, all right, so now I'll take this. Excellent. And by the way, this continuing shuffling is not a thing you're allowed to do as a dealer. There we go. So then we got 1 you, 1 me, 1 you, 1 me. Okay, so what do you got?
Ace and a 2.
So now you have a decision to make, because if we assume this is a 10, then I'm at 13, which means you should assume that the dealer might bust. This is the part where you could either hit, because there's no way you can bust on a
Right.
hit, or you could decide to double down.
Okay.
Do you know about doubling down?
Kind of. I've basically got 2 pools. Is that right?
That's splitting. We'll get to that.
Oh, okay. Okay, then I don't.
You could double down. All right.
Okay.
So to double down, basically you're saying, I want 1 more card, and that's it. But you have information. You have more information now. If this is a 10, there's a increased likelihood that I'm going to bust. So what you could do is you can put 2 more of your chips next to it and push this forward and say double down. At which point I will give you 1 more card, and we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
Now in lower deck blackjack, they're going to put that card face down. I think you do have the right to look at it, but it's more fun because at this point, it's out of your hands.
It's done, yeah.
Right. Play goes around, so you've doubled down. And so I have an ace and a 3. This is called a soft 14. It's definitely below 17, so the dealer has to hit. So I'm going to hit again, and now I have a hard 14. And because it's below what number?
17.
What do I have to
You got to hit again.
That's right. And at this point, I busted, so you ended up with a 19. So congratulations, your double down paid off, and there we go.
All right.
All right, so here we go. So we'll do another one. Now I think you're getting the shape of it. I'm waiting for your bet.
Okay.
There you go. Oh, sir, keep it in the circle.
Oh, yes.
They'll give you all those nudges. And there's 1 for you, 1 for me, 1 for you, 1 for me. Oh, what a good setup. I don't know what you have.
I'm gonna hold.
Okay, so you're gonna stay. So
Stay.
basically,
I'll hold.
whatever it is you have, you're now betting that I'm going to bust.
Yes.
Right? Everyone, okay. And then, so I'm at 12, which means I have to,
More. What?
it's called
Hit.
hit is
Yes,
the word.
you have to more.
Okay. And where I'm at now.
Oh, 16. You have to hit again. Wow.
18.
Wow.
And so-
you do not have to hit. You can stay on that.
I have to. There's no more discretion that the dealer has
Okay.
once you get to this moment. So I am done. I'm at 18. I'll go one at a time, and I'll look you in the eye, and then you will flip over your cards with one hand. Good job. There you go. And you had a 19, and I say, congratulations. This all means a lot to me. I'm not just a robot working at a casino. And then we wipe everything up here, okay?
And I say, okay, bye.
If you're smart.
All right.
Sir, hit or stand? You're gonna hit? Oh yeah, should have asked you to bet.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay, so.
If you're busted, it's discretionary whether or not you flip the cards over, but if you're not, then you could just lean back and say no more. Okay, great. So everyone finishes, and then I turn over this, and where am I at?
12.
Which
you
means
gotta
I
hit
have
again.
to. And now I'm
And
busted.
Now you're busted.
And everybody cheers, and I say, oh,
Yay!
congratulations, turn over your cards.
Hey, I got a 19.
19, so you did great. So
Yeehaw.
I'm gonna give you this. Now, at this point, let's say you're starting to win. A courtesy thing, the way tipping works in Vegas is you can just straight up give somebody a tip, but it's kind of a fun thing to place your bet and then a $1 chip and just say, that one's for you, just a little bit outside. So you're gambling for them, and now in person, we're all cheering for me to bust or whatever.
Gotcha.
Also, real quick, we're now deep enough in the deck, in single deck blackjack. I would not continue to play this deck because if somebody were counting cards, they would have a pretty good idea of what's left. So what they do is they put a marker in at the beginning, and when you get about 2/3 of the way down the deck, that's when kind of everything stops and there's a reshuffle. So now we're reshuffling the single deck blackjack, and we make small talk.
Did you guys see Donnie and Marie?
Yes, exactly. Or the pit boss comes over and says, do you have a player's card? You should get points. By the way, what you're doing is you're trading your personal gambling history in exchange for points, which is either good or bad, says the guy who flies for free on credit card points all the time. You placed your bet and you made a tip for the dealer. And so, talk me through what you know right now.
Okay, well, we'll say you got a 10 there, so that's a 12. I don't think you're gonna bust. I got my hand here. I think I could probably bust.
Once you decide that you're just following basic strategy, emotion and thinking and guessing does not enter the picture. Later, when you learn to use card counting with basic strategy, there is flexibility. But for now, you have to run on an algorithm the same way I have to run on an algorithm. And per basic strategy, let's explore this. You're assuming this is a 10. What do you actually have?
I actually have a 10 and a 5, I have 15.
Okay, so I would agree with you standing.
Okay.
Okay, so in this case, so you would say no thank you. I would go through the rest. I would flip over this card. I have a 9, and now it's 19. I would take this and I would say, oh, thank you so much. Sorry, too bad the casino got it. Sir, would you like to bet? There you go.
Yeah, and that.
Yeah. I love tipping because it makes them less mad when I act like a real
When you're
loud-
a clown.
Yep. So what do you have?
All right, I have an ace and a 4.
Okay. And meanwhile, the dealer is in what?
13.
So now what are you gambling for?
That the dealer will bust.
Yes, which means your move is?
To hold.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
So you'll hold, and I go through everyone else, and then I flip this over, and I have 9, and now I have 17. So again, and I'm like, oh, so sorry, sir. So sorry, sir. This is a good reminder that basic strategy is not a strategy to beat the casino. It is a strategy to Lose as slowly as you can. So again, sir, would you like to bet?
Oh, yep.
This is another thing. When you're playing basic strategy, it's important to not let yourself get emotional. One thing you did naturally that I really like is that you keep betting the same amount because you're playing this strategy.
Okay.
What do you have?
Oof.
7.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if I had like a 16, you would be both betting on me to bust and betting that you'll come out ahead. But in this case, you know you get one free card. However, you're looking at what most probably is what?
19.
That's right. So
I should hold.
no, you shouldn't hold because a 7 is
Or stay.
as
sorry.
as the wise wizard Austin Powers heard, 20 beats your 5. So you have a free hit here, but I would not
sure.
double down because
Okay.
you're up against what likely is a 19.
Right. Okay. So
Hit, there you go. I'll do it face up, there you go. So now you're at 17, and what do we do at 17? No matter what?
we stay.
We stop, that's right. And then everyone finishes, you have 17, I have 13, and then this is when everyone gets excited. And 20.
What?
Yes. Sir, you want to bet? I think you're getting it
You're
now.
bringing out the Joe Pesci in me. I'm gonna put your head in a vice later.
Okay, there we go. There, one. There you go.
Okay. Now I have a 7 and a 3.
So you have a 10, but you're up against a queen.
A queen and 10 maybe. So
What
20.
probably is another 10. So, by the way, a 10 and an 11 is, there's no discretion. If you get 11, you must double down, always. A 10, you have the discretion, and in this case, I would say that's a pretty threatening hand, so I'd probably just hit. 16, what do you have to do? This is the part that's painful and nobody wants to do it. It's a 16 looking at a probable, you don't stay on 16.
You don't?
What
Is it 17 always?
do you think I have?
A 20.
What will you gain by letting me just turn this
So
over?
might as well
Yes,
go for it.
this is the painful move.
I see. Okay.
So you got to hit, and it probably will bust, but you have to be prepared for that. And you did, and I'm like, sorry, sir, but guess what? You did the right thing, because I did have a 20, right? Okay, here, we'll go another one.
Yeah, we'll do. Yes.
Okay. Oh, okay, this is the moment where a curious bet comes up. And it's different at various tables. This is when a side bet called insurance happens. You are allowed to look at your cards, so take a look at your hand.
Okay.
And if you are convinced that you're about to win, but you would really hate it if I happen to have a blackjack, then you could take insurance, because this is the part where I slide this over to a secret mirror, and I find out whether or not I have a blackjack or not. And then I say insurance, and the payout can be 2-1, it could be 3-2, it could be 6-5 or whatever. But basically, it is a side bet that you can make that has a separate payout. So now you're asking yourself, how good is my hand? Like, let's say you have 20, you might consider buying insurance because the pain of finding out that you don't even get to play it would be too much. So I'm gonna ask you, insurance?
No.
No.
But should I take it anyway for the purposes of?
Nope, because should have taken the insurance. What did you have? Oh, garbage. Yeah. 20 beats your 5. In general, insurance is considered to be a sucker's bet. So you don't have to feel bad that you didn't take it. I personally never take insurance. We're gonna try to do basic strategy, and we're legit gonna see how you do.
All right.
So first thing, after shuffling, I'm gonna burn one card. Is that your bet?
That's my bet.
Okay, there we go. Okay, this is a very special circumstance. If you have two of the same card or two of the same value, kind of like doubling down, you have the opportunity to split.
Ah, okay.
And to be honest, I actually don't know what basic strategy says to do in this situation. I do know that what you're seeing is the assumption that I have 17 and you have 2 3s. Now, a 6 as a hand is very bad, but 2 3s, I mean, I might deal an 8 to each of these, who knows? So the way you indicate that you want to split is you take your bet and you put them next to it and you clearly say split. I
Oh.
want to split.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll probably put that over there. But yeah, you'll say, no.
No?
Separate.
Oh,
there you
okay.
go. What you'll do is probably place them like that.
Gotcha.
And then you'll give a there you go, split. So me being the dealer, all I know is that I don't have a blackjack. So my new job is to give you, sometimes this face down, we'll make it face up. Oh my God. Talk it out. Think of everything you've learned and look at what just happened.
I have 2 discrete separate hands. I have 13 and an 11. I would want to hit on both.
I certainly would hit on both, but remember, everything goes in order, so you got to pick the first one. What was the first one? What do you have?
11. What will you do with an 11? Oh, double down on 11. You have to double down on 11.
And how would you indicate that?
Okay, I don't remember. How do I double down?
Double down!
I don't know.
The dealers are very courteous, and they will help you through this because they know in the long run, they're going to get all your money anyway.
Yeah.
So the way you indicate a double down, you put that next to that.
Oh, right.
And then you point and say just one more.
One more.
Right? Okay. So you've doubled down on this, and talk through the logic of why you're doing that.
Okay, because I have 11, I have to double down on that, and the chances are this card is a 10, which would give me blackjack.
21, correct, yeah. Blackjack is technically when the first 2 cards turn out to be 21.
Oh, okay.
But whatever it is, if it's not a 10, it could be a 9, which would be to 17, or an 8, which would be to 17. The odds are very good that this will be a winning hand, so you want to double down.
Okay.
And now I'm going to look to you to
And then
this one.
hit on this one.
Why are you hitting?
Because it's below 17.
That's right, and
it's
you're
not-
looking at...
And it's looking at yours. Looks like you're going to hit 17, so you'll probably stay there. So I'm going to want to go a little higher.
That's
on
correct.
that one.
And so you're going to hit. You can either do this or scratch. There you go. And then I'm going to give you a card. And now where are you at?
Now I'm at 17.
That's right, because you hit 17 and it might be a bust, right?
I'm going to stay on that one.
I'm going to finish as the dealer, and then I'm going to reveal a 13. So what do I have to do now?
You got to hit again.
That's right. And so where I'm at?
18.
Which means, so this hand is going to be a loser.
This is a loser.
Well, what about your double down?
And then my double down here, also a loser.
Oh, it is. Welcome to Vegas, motherfucker.
This is dumb.
We hit the broad strokes, but there are some edge cases, like do you double down if you have a soft 17? This is how clearly aware of all of this the casinos are. They literally will sell you a little card that is a cheat sheet to tell you what to do. Basic strategy is pretty reliable to being close to a fair shake, but eventually what they're hoping is that you'll get so emotional you'll begin to act irrational and wildly vary your bets. Here, we'll do one more. Here.
Okay.
Just go all in. Be that emotional person. Throw 100 in there. I don't know.
Get it all. This is the one. I understand the strategies now. And so I am undefeatable.
And this is something you should never do because basic strategy is based on iterative, long-term principles based on math. But let's see what happens in our situation. So I have a 17 showing, which is not great. And now there's 3 situations you're in. Either you are happy with your hand and you're gonna stay, or you're below 12, in which case you're gonna definitely hit, or you're in that mushy middle where you're gonna have to say the words hit and you're gonna have to lose all your money. I mean, I don't know. None of us know. Really? Oh, you're busted. And that's why.
You always leave a note.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking of. Okay, now there are a ton of variations on this, and there's a bunch of edge cases, and depending on the house rules, you may want to do something different. But next time, I'm going to teach you how to actually count cards and use this exact strategy in order to actually win.
Wonderful.
What's wrong, Bri?
There's one thing I worry about an awful lot, and that's getting trapped in a bubble of information. When you're browsing around on your browser, you could turn on the incognito mode, and then all of a sudden it says, we don't know who you are. However, all of the services, all of your your Googles and your Bings and your whatnots.
Yeah.
They still know your zip code. And maybe they're shaping the news to your demographic.
I see.
What I want is other people's perspectives. And you flat out cannot get that unless you have a VPN. And even then, if I VPN over to Norway, I'm gonna find out what Norwegians are into, which, by the way, I very much wanna know what all the Norwegians are into, right? But my news should be what everybody knows and from all perspectives. And the only way to do that is with a VPN.
Oh, well, which VPN would you recommend, Brian?
Nobody's invented a VPN yet.
Damn.
I was thinking to myself, you know what I would do if I created a VPN? First of all, I would make sure that it had thousands of servers so I could go all over the world. I'd make sure it had the highest grade encryption that you could get. And I'd make sure that the important bits were located in Panama, where there's no extradition treaties. I'm describing NordVPN, all right?
Oh, NordVPN.
Yeah, it turns out they do exist. Yeah, do yourself a favor, give it a try. Head on over to nordvpn.com/rogue, and when you sign up, you'll get 2 years at a huge discount and 4 bonus months free.
Ooh.
Is this the same offer I'm making all around the world? Or is this targeted for you? Only one way to find out. Haha, Rod Serling, gotcha.
Modern Rogue is supported in part by viewers like you at patreon.com/modernrogue. In the description, you can find all of our credits and additional ways to support the show.
Yes, I have lost so much money that I have said, I would like some pancakes. It is 7 a.m. And they've said, you don't have enough points. And I said, it was $1,000. And they were like, you may have pancakes.
The most bittersweet pancakes ever.